What up, y'all? It's Nadertron from Nadertron's World, and today I'm going to show you guys how to create your own homebrew monster. Now, I'm going to start with looking at some of the other ones that I have. Um, Let me just filter this to monsters real quick. Hello. Oh, man. I barely know how to use this website. No, not really. I just forgot. Let me find one that I actually made here. One that isn't this crazy. Here we go. Here's a good one. All right, so first, you're gonna be greeted with a lot of these. I prefer the 2014 style, but I made this monster try out the 24 style. So I'm gonna make the next one in 2014 style. Obviously, you want a name. You want a good name, a name that sounds menacing, but also kind of tells what the creature is. Usually, this is the version of the game that it's from. I'm fairly certain. Yeah, see, right here. Um, this is actually, this is probably more along the lines of monstrosity, but I'm not gonna leave. I'm gonna leave that alone for now. Sorry. Um, Here, let me just go ahead and get into the one that I'm actually making for this video. That'll be easier to do. All right, here we go. So I usually try to base mine off of a different creature, just because it makes it a little easier for the process. Um, I'm gonna make a a bandit, but I'm gonna make a bandit that works with a certain specific guy. So it's a specific kind of bandit. Obviously, get rid of that. Gotcha. Dude, what the heck? Okay. All right. This is the guy's name. This is like an enemy that you would fight. You would fight like probably five of these at once. This guy, he has like a bunch of like lower level guys that come with him. Um, his name is Ganjual. These guys are going to be humanoid. I wonder if nope. Okay, so we're just going to go with humanoid because that fits it mostly. They're elves, but here we go. Actually, there you go. Um, actually, yeah, yeah. There you go. That'll be easier. They are going to be a little bit of a higher challenge rating, and they are absolutely probably neutral evil. Where is it at? There it is. Because they work for the guy. That makes sense. Definitely medium, and they have a sword. So change that. I am gonna make it easier for them to hit. I'm gonna raise that up to like a 5. Nothing crazy. Nothing crazy. You'll want to make sure to change both of these. So that means when you roll a d20, you'll add 5 to it for an attack roll. What did I just do? I have no idea what I just did there. I didn't even hold on. What? I did not know I could do that. Figuring out stuff with you guys today. Also, I'm gonna raise this just a little bit. Um, Nothing crazy. Again, I don't want to make my players suffer, especially since they're going to be fighting a few of these guys. But I definitely want to make it a little harder on them. Um, Challenge rating is a little bit of something that kind of has to have its own video. To be honest with you, um, absolutely going to raise the damage on that. But challenge rating definitely. You should definitely do some research on challenge rating. I might even make a video on it in the future. Um, I'm gonna raise their armor class too, just to make them harder to hit. Probably make them a little faster. That means I'm definitely gonna have to raise their dexterity. Um, they're probably. I usually like to give them like a weakness that you can kind of exploit. These specific ones, they're pretty dumb, but they're very dexterous and they're very good at speaking with people. Um, they're going to be in a forest that is also near a desert, so it will make sense that they will be able to traverse the forest very well and the desert very well. So there, you're going to see them a lot there, a lot more there. There's also, I don't know if they'll have this in here, but it does not look like it. But they habitat a jungle, so I'm just going to say a forest is a jungle. Um, they're not really, you know, I'd say they're probably pretty good at dexterity saving throws. Just to add that in there, you know. Gonna change this to a short sword. Is that two different words? I wonder. Probably. I'm gonna. So these are the notations. You saw these up here as well, but they're a little easier to explain with these shorter ones. Basically, you'll type the square bracket with whatever it is in the middle. So, like, if I wanted to notate a condition, right? No. Probably, yeah. If I wanted to notate condition somewhere else, I could say and applies. Oop, condition. Poison, and then / condition, just like that, to a creature if that creature fails a DC 16 saving throw. I'm gonna go ahead and throw the poisoned. There you go. Just for it to make a little bit of sense. Um, so that means that after making a saving throw, if they succeed, then they are not poisoned. If they fail, they are poisoned. Poisoned is kind of a thing that DMs usually change the rules of regardless. So I kind of like to leave that up to uh, whoever is playing with this. And granted, this is going to be pretty specific to my campaign because it's Ganjawal's Thralls. You can obviously use this in your campaign, but I mean, unless you have another guy named Ganjawal, I don't see them being very useful, to be honest. But they do know Vish. Oh, hold on a minute. That's the wrong spot. There's another spot to write language. Weather. I actually don't know where you write that. Huh. Oh, right here. Duh. I don't have any pictures. It says it has a little red star as if it were like mandatory. You don't need to add those. They're not mandatory. I don't know why it has those there, to be honest, but they are not mandatory. You always want to save once you finish this part, because if you go to add something here, it'll take you to another tab and it'll completely destroy this part. So make sure to save before you move on to this next part. I will also make sure that they know Elvish. It's just a little just in case my players want to talk to them in Elvish for any reason because they're elves. They would assume, they can walk. Um, these ones are going to have a good deception. I'm going to give them 6 in deception. I am also going to give them a good persuasion. Six. Here we go. Now that I'm done here, I'm going to press save, and just to make sure, because you don't want to just end here, right? You want to click here. You see it gives it an actual character sheet or actual sheet. You see I did do the notation right, so that means it pops up and it tells you all the rules on poisoned. It's very useful, so you should absolutely make sure to put that on there. Poison light crossbow, you see that's really the only thing I changed other than some of the stats, obviously. Made it a little bit easier for it to hit, made a challenge rating higher, gave them more XP because the challenge rating is higher. I didn't change this part now that I'm looking at that, but really, tooltip not found. I'm gonna have to, boom. Let me look this up real quick. Items. What did I do wrong? Ah, there is not a space. Let me go back here. Go here. Go all the way to the bottom. Boom. This is really the only thing that's going to be hard for most people to get a hang of whenever they do homebrew on D&D Beyond, is getting those tooltips right. What most people do is they just write it down, but I like to have these little things here that pop up and tell you exactly what happens. As you can see, especially with the 2024 rules, they added some extra stuff here, especially like down at the bottom there, you can see it says Vex. That's a new thing with the 2024 rules. So it's nice to be able to have those just sitting there to where you can read them off. So let's say I say somebody's poisoned and they have no idea what that means. They just know that they're probably going to take extra damage. So I can tell them, okay, poisoned means while you have the poison condition, you experience the following effect. Ability checks and attacks affected. You have disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks. Poison creature has disadvantage. Oh, that's just the same. Okay. The, the description isn't great, but I also rule that poisoned does an extra 1d4 damage every turn until you get rid of the poison with the same DC that started in the beginning. So let's say you're being attacked by a green dragon. The green dragon poisoned you. The green dragon is going to have a higher DC because it's a dragon. So if you want to succeed, you have to do that every one of your turns. If not, you will take damage. Because I wrote down that it was a drow. You're going to see that right here. It's a medium humanoid, and you can see the name. It just puts it in this nice, like, looking like it came from a book section here. So that's kind of the advantage to doing it on D&D Beyond. But if you guys like this video, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye-bye.